Hi, welcome to our summer kitchen. We're doing the filming in here today. In April, if you remember, we hatched our own chicks, and I did promise that I would do a setup and a bit of a review on the incubator. So I'll try and make it as easy and as simple to understand as I can, because it is actually quite easy to set up, but it's a bit daunting when you've never done it before. I felt a little bit unsure. So in April we bought the Brinsea Maxi 24EX. Now there's obviously quite a few incubators out there, and we didn't want to get the cheapest and we didn't want to really get the most expensive, so we had to get something in the middle. We wanted something that we could switch on and just let it do what it does. Obviously, you know, being in the veggie garden a lot of the time, and we've got other stuff going on, it was just so we could just switch it on. If anything went wrong, an alarm would go off to tell us that something needs looking at. So hence why we bought the Maxi 24. It's got automatic turning and it's got automatic humidity, which is a lot easier to control, but I'll go into that and I'll tell you a bit about that later. So in the box you get what you expect. You get the power pack, obviously the plug-in in. You get obviously the machine. You get some spare pipe, which is obviously important. You get 2 sheets of, I would call this like blotting paper, and you've got to cut a piece out so it fits in the machine, which is like that big, and you fold it in half, and I'll show you what it does. And obviously the instruction manual. So that's what you get for the actual incubator. And with that you get well, I've cut it to length anyway already because I've used it before, but this bit is important. This is for the water that goes through. But there again, I'll show you that in a sec. Also, you get the trays. Now you get an array of trays. You get 24 chicken eggs, and in the box that comes with it you get another tray for duck eggs. You get 40 quail, and then underneath here you've got the goose eggs. So you've got 2, 4, 8 trays for the goose eggs. So you've pretty much set up really for most things. I mean, if you were going to do turkey, I'm sure the turkey eggs would fit in either the goose tray or the duck tray, whichever. I'm not sure which size. I'm not seen a turkey egg for a long while. So you've got everything there to get you cracking and get you going. So that's what comes with it. They do send you one mat, you know, for when the eggs start to hatch. They do send you one mat, but I bought some more. They're really cheap. I can't remember how much they was, but they're cheap. But obviously, when it comes to the 18th day with chickens, you've got to take the tray out and put this mat in, so they can hatch on there, and it's comfortable for the feet. So we just bought an extra bag of that. So that's what you get in the box. Now, setting up wise, obviously, you know, do follow the instructions, but it is quite simple. So for the humidity, you've got a piece of pipe that fits inside the machine, which you've got to put in yourself. So all you need is a little Phillips screwdriver, and at the back here there's a screw that you need to take out. So you just take it out and the lid comes off, the little plastic cover comes off. And in here there's a turning mechanism. So hopefully you can see that now. You can see the turning mechanism there, yeah? Comes fixed to these bits and bats. And in on the base of the plastic you can see it's labelled 1, 2, 3. You can't see it on the camera, but it's labelled 1, 2, 3. So that's telling you that it goes round clockwise. So you just put the tab into the slot like that, as it should. That gives you that bit. Underneath, so follow the 1, 2, and then obviously round. You just have to stretch it a bit. It's a little bit fiddly, and then just place it in there, in the tab in there. So now that's set. So that hopefully that's focused okay. So that's set. So once you've fitted that, put the cover back on. Get your little Phillips. And then just screw it down. Only just so it nips up, you don't have to do it too tight because it's plastic and it might break. So that's that bit. And then all you're left with is your pipe for the water feed and your pipe that goes in to here. So lift that up, you just push it through. I can show you, try and show you close up. You push it through the top here, but make sure that the pipe you push through here, it goes to the centre. Yeah, it's to the centre. So when it drips onto the blotting paper. So that's that bit, and then this length of bottle you can just cut it to the length you desire, and just put a hole in a litre bottle at the top, at the lid, push it through into the water, and that sorts that out. So for this card, like I said, the measurements are in the instruction, but it is 45mm wide and 125 millimeters long, and then just fold it in half and slide it in there. So that sorts that out. And obviously your pipe, as I said, that goes into a bottle. So I've just got a bottle here that I did, sorry, it's out of focus there. I drilled a hole in the lid into the bottle. So I'll show you that in a second. So basically, you're set up now, ready to go. And when you put the lid on, just make sure that the mechanism for the turning goes into the slot here. So you just put the lid on, and it's now, the turning mechanism's got a motor here and a cog, and it connects to the trays. So it's as simple as that. So we've got the humidity pipe in, that's done, and that's going into the centre, and then you've got your main pipe for the feed for the water. So you put your pipe into the bottle and then just put it next to it. Yeah, and we're all set up, ready to go. So the next bit is we need to plug it in. So when you turn it on for the first time, it will beep at you. Well, every time you turn it on, it beeps at you. So you just plug it in. There you go. Right, let's go through the mould, shall we? So at the minute you can see T and H. So T is the temperature, the internal temperature, which at the minute is 30.7, so it's just warming up, yeah? And the humidity is 53, so we're not to worry about that at the moment. And that little thing turning around there, that little marker that you can see, that's just showing that it's heating, yeah? So to get into the functions, you press plus and minus together. So it says temperature. So you click OK for temperature. It comes standard from the factory, set at the hen incubation period, heat, which is 37.5. Now obviously you've got other things like turkeys or ducks or whatever, obviously the temperature is different. So you need to refer to the manual for what temperature that they need to be done at, and to do that you just plus and minus, yeah? And then once you've done that you just press OK. RH, I would ignore that for the minute. Go to the T mode, which is the turning mode, press OK, and you turn the mode on or off. So when you put the incubator into lockdown on the 18th day, you must remember to turn it off, because that stops which obviously you're going to take them plates out, and you put it into lockdown mode with the mat, and you don't want it trying to turn then. So but obviously when you're putting the eggs in, make sure you turn it on. Okay, and the turning cycle is factory set at 45. I left it at 45. So, but if you want to do it different, you know, there again, minus, plus, you can change it and then press OK. The turning angle, okay, press OK. The angle I've set mine previously at 10, because when I was turning the eggs, they weren't turning fully on the factory set, so I turned it up so it got the full cycle. But there again, minus, you can, you know, depending on the size of your eggs, you change it accordingly, but I'll show you that in a sec. And press OK. So the alarm on high, so you set your temperature to 37.5. I've set it to 2 centigrade above. So if it goes 2 centigrade above 37.5, the alarm will go off. So you need to cool it down. An alarm for low, same again. It's set for 3 degrees below.
So if it goes 3 degrees below 37.5, alarm will go off, and then obviously you can adjust the temperature accordingly to set it right. And okay. Cooling, I won't bother. Some people do some cooling. I can't see the point, to be fair, so I'll just ignore that. Min's off. Yeah, there again, I wouldn't bother with that. You can either have it in centigrade or Fahrenheit. Well, I've got it in centigrade. And then you just press save. And that's now set for incubation. Now with your eggs, use a pencil. I mean, for this purpose I'm using a Sharpie, but for this purpose you need to get your egg and you need to mark it. One with a cross, like that. Turn it over and a circle. Yeah, so you've got a cross and a circle. If you've got different breeds going in, then obviously you can just put the initials on there as well, what the breed is. So take the lid off. Yeah, let's focus now. Place your egg with the sharp nose pointing inwards. Yeah. So load it all up with your eggs. And then put your lid back on. Now obviously with the warming up side, I would just turn it on and let it get to temperature, no matter how long it takes. Yeah. Once it's got to 37.5, then obviously I put the eggs in. But obviously for this exercise, we'll just do the way we're doing it. Now for your turning, I'm just trying to get it in focus for you, get the wires and pipes out of the way. So to get it to turn, you need to press the OK and the minus. Now that's not quite fully turned, has it? So what we need to do is go back, let's turn it round so you can see what I'm doing. Go back to the menu, click OK, OK, turning mode OK, mode on OK, so that's OK, and then turning angle OK. So that didn't turn quite, so if I do 12, OK, go through it, save, just lift it again, put it in the middle, turn it round so you can see the egg. There we go. So press OK and minus. There we go, that's a full circle. So 12 made it turn a full cycle, and obviously that's what you want. So it's going to do that every 45 minutes. So next up is, let's put it into lockdown, shall we? So all you do is you take the trays out. It's simple. There. Get yourself your mat. Obviously the cardboard down that way. So that's all set. Obviously keep your lid back on. That's it. So we need to go back into the menu. So press the minus and plus. Zip through the turning mode. Okay. Turning mode is obviously was on. Make sure you turn it off. Okay. And then we have to go to the humidity. Okay. And turn it up to 65%. And now we're set for lockdown. And once you've done that, okay, and don't forget to click save, and it saves it, and we're done. Now, to keep an eye on your humidity, obviously you've got your alarms to tell you and stuff, and you've got your display at the top to tell you, but this here helps you control it too. So fully to the left is fully closed. So if you want to get your humidity up, then close it, yeah? But to keep it temperate, you've got to turn it either fully open or midway. Now I think I found, when we were doing ours, that halfway kept it pretty good. But like I say, every house, every room is different in temperature, so the humidity will set itself as the room temperature is. So you may have to have it fully open to keep it at the level. You may even have to close it. But you'll find out as you go through the 21 days. But for us, it was halfway, and that was pretty much okay. If the humidity dropped for whatever reason, then I just closed it until it got back to temperature, then I opened it again. And that's pretty much it for that. Now when we first set it up, it just wasn't getting to temperature, and then I realised that the kitchen was quite cold, hence why it wasn't getting heated up. So all we had to do was, I know it's not ideal, but we got a towel and just wrapped a towel around it like so. Don't have to be all the way, but like so, and it kept the temperature, and it obviously heated up much quicker. So you just got to keep an eye on it a bit more. But that was because we did it in like April and the weather hadn't changed really. It was still quite cold outside, so the kitchen was quite cold inside. So that's what we had to do. We just put a tea towel on. So if you keep getting an alarm system saying that the temperature's all to cock, it'll start warming up. I mean, I can feel the difference now. So that's what we did. So that's just a little tip there, guys. If it's not heating up quick enough, or it keeps giving you an alarm, just wrap a tea towel around it, and that'll sort the problem out. So that's the control side of it. It is pretty simple. Obviously when you've finished and incubation is complete and you've got your chickies, obviously you need to clean this. Obviously there's nothing you can soak or anything, it's just really a wipe out. On the bottom here, when you turn it over, there's 4 screws, and obviously you need to take these 4 screws out and pull this cover off, because it gets full of fluff and all sorts, and you can blow your fan, your heating fan out too. So just be very careful. 4 screws, take this out, and then you just wipe it out with some disinfectant and make sure it's clean. But obviously don't submerge anything at all. This pipe just comes out, you can take that pipe out for the humidity, and then obviously when you've cleaned it, you just put it back in. And the same goes for the humidity pipe inside, yeah? Inside here, make sure you take that out and don't leave it folded, because it does prolong the silicone. And if you need to change the silicone piping, don't use your nails, because you can damage that. Just try and do it with your fingers and thumb to push the
the ends in. Like I say, you've got a bag that comes with it that's got plenty of spare. I mean, they recommend you change the pipe every time you use it, but I would just have a look at it and see if it's not perished. There's no point in changing it if there's nothing wrong with it. But if you've caught it with your nail or whatever, then obviously you need to change it. But you get plenty anyway, and I'm sure you can order it from Brinsea depending on how many eggs you're hatching and how long you're using it, you might go through this really quick. But like us, we're probably going to do it twice a year, 3 times a year tops. It should do us for quite a while. So yeah, it's a good machine. Like I said, we had really no problems. The alarm went off a couple of times when we first started using it. Obviously one of them was for the heating issue, like I showed you with the towel. Just put a towel around it and it's fine. And the humidity went auto cock for some reason after about a week. But like I said, I couldn't get it right within an hour, so I just took it out, the piece of paper out, put a new one in, closed it up, and it sorted itself out and dried the other one out, because I can use that again, because it was only in for about, I don't know, 8 days, something like that. So it's only water. So yeah, all happy, excellent machine. The only 2 complaints that I have really is there's not really a lot of room in here, a lot of height. It's very low. I mean, it's okay, but if it gets full, then the chickies look like, oh, they're all hutched up. But I mean, they're warm, and they're only in for a good few hours until they dry out. You've got to leave them in till they dry out, and when they're all yellow and fluffy, you take them out. So ideally, you've got the chickies hatching at all different times. So by the time 2 or 3 are hatched, they dry, other ones are popping out, so you just take them out and put them in brooder. So that really eradicates that, but it is a very, very low, and obviously plastic. I know it's there so you can see what's going on, I understand that, but if your room temperature isn't above 15 degrees, then this won't reach temperature. So that's when you've got to that's why we realised that we had to put a towel on it. Which is not, I mean, it's not, they're not major issues, but if you buy an incubator and it's there for you to see, to look at what's going on, then you can't make it thick plastic because you'll not see through it. So I understand it's not a bad design, it's just that it's the things to look out for, you know, when you're using it. So if it's not heating up, was a towel around it. I can't keep saying that anymore. And when your chickies are born, wait until they dry out and then just take them out and put them under the brooder until they're older, even though it's quite low. But apart from that, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It's an excellent piece of kit. You've got everything you need, and they send you enough pipe for ages. So all in all, apart from the 2 little issues I've just mentioned about the height and the insulation side of it, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. But because of them 2, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you've any questions at all, please leave them in the comment section below, as you know, and please click like and subscribe and share it with everybody, and I'll see you next time.